Good. I am. I'm excited. Is that a Face Off poster behind you? I've
Yeah,
never seen that one. Oh, I've never seen that one. Oh wait, yes. Okay, yes, I have. It's just a.
it's it's the banner that was hanging down at the cinemas when it came out in the
That's
90s.
awesome. That is amazing. Wow, that is beautiful.
Have you been
Yeah,
have you been approached to write or be part of the new Face Off movie? You should be.
yeah. Adam and I are writing it together. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And have you got anything that you can tell me or anything that you might like to share? Seeing I've got
No,
this
I mean,
poster.
only what we've already said, which is that we're doing a direct sequel, and we're not going to do it unless unless it really feels right, in terms of like what the original film was, and how to achieve that. So we, among other things, we want to make sure that it's a movie that has a certain amount of violence in it and a certain amount of fun and a certain sensibility that that maybe was kind of unique to that era of cinema, but I think we can revisit in a cool way. And also, for us, it's really about
Yeah,
continuing the stories of Castor Troy and Sean Archer, and making it a proper sequel,
sure.
which we want, and hopefully other people do as well.
Now I know he fell to his death, but I'd like to see the return of Alessandro Nivola. He had a very good role in it. I'm just saying.
Hey, we're already trying to get a lot of people back, but
Sure.
yeah.
Now, on to Seance. I just want to say thank you for putting the song "The Friends of the Heroes" into a
Oh,
movie, because it's a great song and you never hear it.
were you a fan of the Eisler set prior to
Yeah,
seeing
I
the
am.
film?
Yes, I am.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. I'd heard that song like back in back when it came out in the late 90s, and I'd always wanted to put it in a film. And then like finally when I was directing a feature, I was like, all right, like we're gonna choreograph the dance scene to this piece of music. And we had to license that song, in pre-production,
Okay.
because I specifically wanted Stephanie Sy, the actor in that scene, who worked with a choreographer, I believe her name is Brenda Gorman, based in Winnipeg. They actually really spent some time with that Eisler set song, working out those steps. And
Yeah.
it was a cool process, having been a fan of that song for so long. It was really cool to see Stephanie put that dance together. And I mean, she just really designed that dance, and she would just do it from start to finish. So that was probably the most fun I had filming a scene in Seance, was getting to just like play that song and do kind of a dance scene.
Well, I'm glad I picked up on it then, because I was fist pumping when I heard the song, and the choreography was unique.
I mean, you're the first person who's mentioned that to me. I think I mean, I specifically try, when I put music in films, and I know Adam Wingard feels the same way. We try to find songs that feel classical
Yeah,
and kind of mainstream, but of course, I personally, we never have the budgets to be able to afford really like mainstream
sure.
classic rock songs. The kind that like Wes Anderson or Tarantino use. We can afford that stuff. But even beyond that, I'm hesitant to use music like that in our films, because you always have that element where if people have prior connotations with a piece of music,
I
they
agree.
might be bringing something to the scene or an emotion to the scene that's other than what you intended. So I try to use music that evokes the same emotions, but that maybe people haven't heard necessarily before, rather than going for the recognizability or nostalgia value of like a very familiar song
Mm,
that obviously like evokes a certain feeling. A Rolling Stone song, for example,
mm.
obviously evokes a certain kind of era and feeling, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, beautifully so. But like conversely, I kind of think the Eisler set is maybe more interesting, because you watch that scene, and you're having an experience that I think is different than 99.9% of viewers who've never heard that song before. And hopefully the Eisler set, get some fans.
I'll spread the word. I think that Seance starts with a bang. That font, the credits, terrific. Really enjoyed that. Something different.
Yeah, I love that. I like that stylization. I knew that, I was trying to do kind of a cozy slasher here. I wasn't trying to do like an extreme horror film with Seance.
No.
So I wanted the title font to kind of have a certain um comfort and elegance to it, that felt maybe, you know to tell you that the movie wasn't going to be tonally just like one kind of thing. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that my producers let me do that, at least as soon as they figured out that it wasn't going to cost any money to do the title that way. You know, they let me, you know, I chose my color of pink and everything working with Technicolor in Toronto. And, you know, they really let me make, you know, stylistic choices like that, which directors don't always get to do. So I was pretty excited. I mean,
Is there
actually,
a
I thought,
director? Is there a director cameo? Did you appear in it somewhere? I didn't notice.
no. Well, I don't even know if I could because I'm not in like the Canadian Actor Union. But even
Fair
beyond
enough.
that, you know, I'm not a good enough actor for that to not just feel like self-indulgence. Probably at this point, you know, I can't really justify putting myself in a role because truthfully, someone else could probably do a better job. And when you're directing for the first time, I mean, believe me, I mean, you know, people were coming up to me and being like, "Hey, we have to do like the behind the scenes for you know the making of for the DVD," and I was like, I cannot think about that right now. You know, when
No,
you're on a low budget movie, you're just like, okay, I'll do that as soon as I deal with like these 15 emergencies. And you know, I have to like, you're always behind, you know, you're always struggling to catch up. So the last thing I wanted to do was give myself any, you know, in front of the camera duties when you know, I was running around like a lunatic, you know, behind the scenes trying to just like get everything in place
sure.
so we could move on. You know, it was a 22-day shoot seance, which isn't, you know, isn't that tight, isn't that extreme,
No,
but you know, but we had some ambitious action and we had a lot of scenes with a lot of actors in them, and those just eat up time. So, you know, like for example, I think we had 27 shooting days to do Your Next, which was a much cheaper film
it
in terms
was.
of
Yeah.
money. Yeah, but we also did Your Next kind of off the grid, mostly non-union in my hometown in Missouri. Whereas Seance, you know, fortunately I'd moved on to kind of bigger things. We were able to do full union in Winnipeg, but then time and, you know, you're suddenly like, where'd all this money go?
At
And
least you got
so,
it made, because this current situation, a lot of movies have been shut down or delayed. So well done.
well, we were lucky, you know, we wrapped Seance, you know, we started shooting in November of 2019, wrapped in December 2019. And then I stayed up in Canada to edit it with my editor up there, James Vandewater, stayed up in
Yeah.
Toronto. And really, I like right around the time that I was like, okay, like it feels like we pretty much got a locked cut. That was like right when I went to like a grocery store and I was like, why is there no Kleenex on the shelves? Like maybe I should be paying attention to what's going on in the
Yeah.
news with this flu thing that people, because when you're making a movie, you're kind of in your own world, or at least you know, I tend to hyper focus and get a little obsessive kind of creatively. So I was just like, oh, this COVID-19 thing, oh wait, what's happening? Why is there no food? Like what's going on? And then I had to like get rushed back to LA before everything shut down. So we were
Right.
very lucky just timing wise, and that we basically, you know, I ended up having to color grade Seance remotely. I ended up having to buy like an iPad to color grade it.
Wow.
We ended up doing all our ADR sessions over Zoom, but we were able to finish the movie and make the movie we wanted to make.
My time, 10 minutes, has gone real quick. One more quick question on Seance, though. I can't go without asking about Suki Waterhouse. Did the movie get financed because of her? Because she is head and shoulders above. I like your cast. I think the cast is great. But Suki, tell me about her. She's great and really does make the movie the Nancy Drew style horror film it is.
Yeah. I mean, it is absolutely trying to make a Nancy Drew style horror film. I mean, I probably can't say that because that's probably copyrighted material, but that is what I was specifically kind of trying to do. Suki basically did get the movie financed, actually. I mean, not in the sense that like she put together the financing, but in that once she agreed to come on board to play the lead character, that's I think when my financiers started to get a lot more confident and feel
Sure.
like we were really going to make a movie that people would want to see. Is when she, you know, her vote of confidence was what actually got, you know, especially with Hanway Films, I think, you know, they were really excited about her involvement. And, you know, and that was really, I didn't know Suki. I didn't even really know her work.
I'm
Um,
surprised.
yeah, it was really my casting director, Deanna Brigidi, wonderful talent, you know, really kind of put me, you know, in the same room as a lot of really talented people who I'd never met before, like Anana Sarkis, Madison Beatty, you know, like
Yeah,
people who's like
Madison's good.
I really wasn't up on. Madison I knew, but that's because Madison makes like Tarantino movies and stuff like The Clovich Killer. Like Anana is like one of the most famous people in the world, and I was like, oh, nice, you know, okay. What does she do? She's an influencer. You're gonna have to explain that to me. I'm elderly. You know, and Suki was the same. It was like I was just like, you know, I'd seen The Bad Batch, I'd seen a few other things, but I didn't really know
Mm.
what her vibe was and then you meet her, and she's so intelligent and dark and really a very smart, strange person. And I knew we were going to get along right away. She got the humor, she got the role, she understood how, you know, how she needed to play Camille. And basically I like left, we had like a 3-hour meeting at like a diner, you know, and I just like walked out texting the producers, like, we gotta lock her in. Like, I don't care. I don't care
I'm
what she
glad.
costs. Like, we gotta get the ink dried on that deal with Suki right away, because that's Camille. And, you know, and then once I had her in that role, that's when we were able to start casting the other roles a bit, which was, you know, is a challenge. I mean, we ended up casting Marina Stevenson Kerr, who played Mrs. Landry, like at the table read, you know, a couple of hours, basically, it felt like, out from filming. I mean, that was, she auditioned at the table read, you know, a day, I think, before shooting, you know, her big scene where, you know, where Camille, the character who's calling herself Camille, you
That
know,
is a
first
big
comes to
moment.
the school. Yeah, so you know, so it was, you know, it was a tough shoot for the cast, I think, sometimes, but they were great. And I think Suki never complained. She was always just like ready to get up and go. And that, you know, having her as my lead really helped with that, because she had faith in me. And so everyone else kind of assumed that she had some reason to trust me, and kind of followed her lead. So I hope I get to work with Suki again as soon as possible.
So do I. Thank you for your time, Simon. I hope we get to talk again another time. And I'm glad you enjoyed the poster. And I mentioned
Absolutely.
the song, which is
Thank
even
you.
better.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
See you, mate.